I know I've been gone a little while, so what's up? I'm so excited to be here. Welcome to Growth Groove with Dr. Ericka. I'm your host, Dr. Ericka, and I know I've been gone a little while. To be honest, it's just been a little self-care going on. Plus, I was on vacation, I was traveling, I was on the road. And the one thing I want to make sure is that when I come to you and I spend time with you, that you get all of me, that I'm 100% present and you are getting my best. So I am back now and so enthusiastically ready to spend time with you all. So welcome. Well, tonight we're going to talk about a few thoughts on legacy building. And before we get started, if you don't know me, let me tell you who I am. I'm your host, Dr. Ericka, Harvard-trained, double board certified psychiatrist and integrative lifestyle coach. I am a rashly passionate about helping you be better, do better, and live better. I do that through my adult telepsychiatry practice, my books, including Fix Your Fairy Tale, A Woman's Guide to a Great Life, Love, and Legacy, my speaking, and my hit podcast, Better with Dr. Ericka. I do all of this to help busy people like you. You show up for work, you show up for your friends, you show up for your family, you show up for your community, you show up for everybody. But a lot of times you don't. Not only do you not show up for yourself, you look around and you're like, where is everybody? So I do all of this to help put you back in your life. So as I said before, we're not going to be here for long, but we're going to make this count. You might be like, Dr. Ericka, what can I do to show some support? First couple of things, quick housekeeping tips. The first thing is, if you know someone that needs this, please share. There's a little button. Sharing is caring. The next thing is you can also tag them. Let your fingers do the work. The last thing is if you're watching it later, don't even worry about it. Just put hashtag replay in the comments and let me know you're here. If you put questions, even if they come later, I will make sure that I get to them. So let's go ahead and get to it. You might be like, Dr. Ericka, why are we talking about legacy building? Well, I'm at that age where everybody's starting to turn all these milestone ages. A lot of my friends are turning 50, and I'm going to let you in a little secret. I'm turning 50 this month. Yes. All this youthfulness is turning 50. And one of the things about that is you really start thinking about what your life means. I'm currently reading this book called 4,000 Weeks. And I literally just listened to a chapter this morning because I told you one of my hacks to make sure that I continue to work on being better and that I keep in forward motion is that in the morning I listen to an audiobook that typically is self-development or business development or professional or something like that. And this one, 40,000 Weeks, it was on this period talking kind of about what is the meaning of life. Now, I'm not going to go as far as they were talking about how really when you look at your life in the grand scheme, it's inconsequential to the wonderful world of the universe. We're not going to quite go all the way there. But I want to have a few moments to talk about this. Now, you might be like, why do we start having these thoughts? Well, there is a guy named Erik Erikson who came up with probably my favorite developmental framework. And each one is kind of talking about a challenge that you are doing during that cycle. So there's one that's 30 to 64. So I can't believe I'm officially middle-aged, but these are the kind of things you start thinking of when you're 30, 35, 40, 45, and especially 50 is the one is generativity versus stagnation. So are you just kind of standing still and not really moving, or what are you creating? What are you leaving? What legacy are you building? So there is a reason why you have so many conversations and so many thoughts about legacy building as you get to what they term as middle age. It is developmentally appropriate. Now, what are my few thoughts on it? Because one of the things is this thought can be so heavy. It can be overwhelming. There's enough stuff draining your capacity that I don't want you to have one more thing that feels overwhelming. So I want to have a quick talk with you on some ways or strategies to turn some of these thoughts around legacy building into ones that feel more aspirational, attainable, and positive, versus the flip side of what happens sometimes when people start thinking about legacy building is the regret, the resentment, the things you didn't do, what you wish you had done, how you feel like you didn't fulfill your potential. And then you start going down this rabbit hole of shame and guilt. So let's talk about some ways to have it more feeling aspirational, feeling like you are having success, and feeling more positive vibes. We don't want shame and guilt in the house. There's plenty of stuff that's going to you're going to have to fight shame and guilt for. This is not one of them. So the first thing is it is more than kids, because as you see, as we're getting older, one of the reasons I did my book, Fix Your Fairy Tale, A Woman's Guide to a Great Life, Love, and Legacy, is I just saw so many people were getting into our 30s where this thought that you're going to get this husband and kids, it's going to all come together. And so many times I've been in the room and people have started talking about your legacy and your kids. Everyone doesn't have kids. Everyone doesn't want kids. So there are a lot of other ways to do legacy building that's not simply your children or estate planning. And I want to encourage you to have a wider view of this, because I think it's going to help you feel more successful. It's also going to help you feel more hopeful, because there are certain things we can be in full control of our attitude, our mindset, and how we react to things. But there are certain things I can't snap my fingers and all of a sudden have a husband. It is what it is. I'm not going to snap my fingers and all of a sudden have a cute little kid that's 100% healthy that popped out and I had no change in my body and everything is great and childcare is reasonable. It just ain't going to happen. So I want you to feel like you have more control over your life, because a lot of the reasons why people have so much anxiety is that feeling of feeling out of control, anticipating feeling out of control, or remembering when you felt out of control. So I want to cut out some of the anxiety, but I want you to widen your view of legacy building to be more than just children. And the question is, why not now? And if you want to ask me what the biggest thing I found as I've started contemplating this shift towards 50, one of the biggest things is you do start feeling an urgency. Because the reality is, unless you live to be 100, you have more days behind you than are ahead of you. Now, there is a chance I have plenty of people in my family that have reached 100. My grandmother is 97. So there is a chance. But the thing is you start feeling that urgency that there's not all this time just to waste or go by thinking tomorrow. If you all remember, there was an old song, wasn't commissioned. Maybe it was Take Six. No, it wasn't Take Six, but there was an old gospel song called Tomorrow, contemporary gospel, but it is an oldie but goodie, given that we are in 2023. Shoot me something in the comments if you remember that song, Tomorrow. And shoot me a message if you're sitting here thinking about legacy building. Just put something in the chat. So the question is, why not now? And one of the things I was saying is, turning 50, you start feeling this urgency that life is changing, and that you just don't have so much time to waste. So the question is, why not now? We give a lot of excuses because we want everything to be perfect. When we start making these next steps, when we start making moves, when we start moving to our goals, when we start moving to our dreams, we want this perfect setup to do it. And I want to question you and urge you and challenge you to think, why not now? And to challenge yourself to quit making so many excuses of why not now. Of there isn't enough money, there aren't enough people, I don't have enough time, I'm tired. Let's quit making excuses. Let's start asking ourselves seriously, why not now, and give honest answers to yourself. The next thing is, why not you? Now that's a twist on, I've heard the saying, it was like, if not you, who? Is why not you? Why don't you deserve to have this life that you want? Why don't you deserve to be happy? Why don't you deserve to feel successful no matter what that definition is for you? Because there's a wide variety of ways you can define success. But why not you? If you start asking yourself, why not now? Why not you? And you start asking honestly and responding to yourself honestly. So this is having some self-dialogue, but not in a psychotic way. Is that you'll start finding out when you really start getting honest with yourself. And it may take seeing a therapist or a coach to help you get really 100% honest with yourself, or to have someone tell you about yourself when you don't want to tell yourself really about yourself. Is that when you start giving yourself honest answers, you start peeling back all of those excuses that have been holding you back. And I want you to have this wider view of legacy building, so that, number one, you're not feeling this mental and emotional pull or drag because you're back at looking at generativity versus stagnation. And because if you feel stuck, you know what? You are in stagnation. That's it. In stagnation. Nobody wants to be in stagnation. So I want you to be in generativity. I want you to be able to feel like you're moving towards that legacy and you're making that difference. And I've spoken about it before. I have two friends that have passed. And one of the biggest things I've seen about their legacy is the fact of the impact they have made on people's lives. And it could be the smallest thing they did that made a difference in people's lives. And I want people to really start thinking of legacy in terms of living a good life, living in your values, living in your truth, and the way you touch other people, and that being valued. So that's what I got for you tonight. Thanks again for tuning in. Again, if you tuned in late, just put hashtag replay and you can always go back. Feel free to share or to tag others that you think this would be helpful. I appreciate your time. I have to hop off because I need to do a speaking engagement since you got makeup today. You know, I don't usually put on this much makeup. But I want to say thank you for showing up. Thank you for investing in you. Again, I am your host, Dr. Ericka, Harvard-trained, double board certified psychiatrist and integrative lifestyle coach. I am on a mission to help you be better, do better, and live better. I do that through my adult telepsychiatry practice, my books, my podcast, and my speaking. I do all of this to help busy people like you to show up for everybody else. I do this to put you back in your life so you could show up for yourself. If you want me to actually be your doctor, you know how to find me. Go to goodwinmed.com, goodwinmed.com, because just listening to this, I am not your doctor. But if you want to actually see about being able to spend quality time with me for me to help you with your mental health, go to goodwinmed.com. And you know, I've got this podcast, Better with Dr. Ericka. You can go to any podcast platform or go to Better the Podcast. I love it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and review. All right. Got it. So I'm about to hop out of here, but I want you to take your left hand, put it on your right arm, right hand, left arm. Give yourself a huge squeeze because what you deserve it. And I'm sending love out to you. And I will be back next week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. It feels so great to be back. I'm looking forward to seeing your comments and please share. Have a great night.